So how many of you are taking a multivitamin? If you're in America, probably 50% of adults taking it. That's what the studies show. I've taken it sometimes too, off and on. Did you know that the reason you might be taking it, it doesn't have any evidence for it? So for me, I would want it to be shown that it makes you live longer or prevents cancers or prevents heart attacks. You know, there's evidence that it doesn't do any of that. There's actually strong evidence. So why are we doing it? So, of course, many take it because they think they're deficient in a vitamin. It's actually really rare in almost every first world country to be deficient in any macronutrients. So maybe vitamin B12 if you're pure vegan, or vitamin D, many of us are. So those can be special extra ones. But generally, a multivitamin, there's just literally no data that shows that it helps. And I want to go over that right now because I love data. I'm very evidence-based on my blog. And so, for example, in 2013, there was a meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials, and it showed no benefit or harm in deaths, in mortality, including cardiac disease too. So it was a huge study. Randomized controlled trials are the best. It showed no change over the years. And there was a much more recent one. So the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, and they did a 2022 review, and they showed an inconclusive benefit. Maybe one of the bad things about that review is the data was only 4 years, so it's hard to prove mortality in a 4-year change. So the better ones are something called prospective cohort studies. There was, for example, one that just came out earlier this year, 2024, and it reviewed 400,000 patients from different studies over 27 years. So it's a really huge amount of time to see if there's a change. And again, like the other studies, it showed a non-significant change in mortality, in cardiac disease, and in cancer. So there's strong evidence that there's no benefit in taking a multivitamin every day. But I would argue that there's a general harm in this emphasis on supplements in America and many countries. Instead of changing diet and making the real changes that can literally improve your life, I can almost guarantee that the people watching, you're not taking the macronutrient that 90% of us are deficient in, which is fiber. And literally fiber from a whole foods, plant-based, that has more evidence than anything that actually protects you against diseases. So there was actually, I have a study again. It was a 2024, it just came out, a meta-analysis of over 3 million people. It showed that fiber via whole grains, cereals, and vegetables lowers mortality from all causes, heart disease, and cancers by over 20%. And when they stratify that to the fiber from nuts and seeds, there was a 43% decrease in the cancer risk, the overall deaths, and the cardiac disease. So, my gosh, fiber, please, not a multivitamin. And by the way, fiber not in a supplement. You have to get it through the foods. So it all works together. There's a synergy in what Mother Nature has designed. So if you have disagreements about multivitamin, which many of you do, please, you can put them in the comments below, but really, can you please back it up with some evidence? So I need data. I don't like anecdotal evidence. It's just, it doesn't mean anything. And if you have some evidence, like a randomized controlled trial or prospective cohort studies you want to show me, great. Maybe you can change my mind. But I hope at least you're open-minded to be having your minds changed too.